during their D element, they lose the value of the element, which is 8/10, as well as the fall. Well, she really has now lost it totally. 21-year-old, well experienced, but obviously just losing her confidence, and she's lost her tempo more than anything. Really lost self-belief, and on beam you can't afford to lose self-belief. Pity really, because she's got all of the skills, got all of the polish, and really lacking the desire to pull herself through. And at this level, that really is unforgivable, that type of attitude, and I'm sure her coach would say the same to her. Hands down on the end, so she threw it away. One fall, and many of these gymnasts are such perfectionists that if they make one mistake, they find it so difficult to pull themselves back because they feel as though they've wasted the opportunity and they give in. So in effect, 3 falls there from Kormaskova.
An indication just how difficult, an indication of the pressure out there. This, for many of these young performers, is the biggest day of the year. For many, the biggest day of their careers to date. And, well, for Kormaskova, some difficult emotions to deal with, Monica.
Yeah, and the coach is just looking on speechlessly because they know that they would like to say what I feel, that really this is your big day and you've thrown it away, because the coaches too have put in an enormous amount. And viewers, yes, it is sad that she has made those mistakes, but she has trained for years and years and years not to be affected by the moment, and she allowed herself to be, and that is the name of the game.
As we said many times before, in many sports here in Eurosport, that just about each and every one of these is a potential world champion, but actually taking a gold medal in a world championships requires that special skill that evades many sports people. I must admit, my sport, not gymnastics, but alpine skiing, I could never do it on the big day. I was hopeless. But in training would beat the world's best. And it really is a special ingredient that every sportsman and woman around the world knows you either have it or you don't. And those that don't, well, idolise those that do. And for poor, and these are difficult scenes to have to focus on, for poor Jana Kormaskova, well, she's crumbled on the big day, and this is a tough situation to deal with. Not the end of the world, but a tough situation that many sportsmen and women have to deal with.
Oh, yes. I mean, very sad for her, because at her age, 21, she's put in a very, very long apprenticeship, and she probably will not grace the floor at another World Championships, hoping to go as far as the Olympics, no doubt, and she's a very decent gymnast. But we now see why the producer is hanging around beam, because the stately figure of Svetlana Korkina awaiting the Queen of Beam.
Queen of Beam next to go, 7.812 for Kormaskova. Her gold medal chances are over. Now let's see if Korkina can put the nightmare of 48 hours ago behind her, refocus. And with Russia taking silver, not gold, due to Korkina's mistake, she now goes for the defense of her world title. Gold medalist in 97, looking for the repeat here in China in 99. Oh, and Korkina's in trouble right at the beginning.
That was where she fell before, and she went so negatively into it, which psychologically gives her opponents the advantage because she's feeling the pressure. But that at the beginning, she had accrued a few penalty points on bent arms, and then about a tenth, 2/10 possibly, on the wobble, but if she can keep everything clean from now on, she could still get a good score, and this could still be good enough. Especially when she's so good on bars, and then she's got vault, her next stress really. You can hear a pin drop. Not a murmur in the audience. She really has got the audience held. Nervous performance there from Svetlana Korkina. Very nervous, landing a little bit negative, first length negative, but she stayed on, and that's all we can say about it. Not a startling performance, really.
Well, the defending world champion, understandably feeling the pressure, but she gets up onto the beam, and this is where it really didn't look that focused early on.
And the bent arms, and she was under-rotated, the angle in the shoulders short, Oh, that is a big wobble. Could even be 3/10 gone. So she just have to look and see how the judges.
Poklonskaya for Belarus next to go in the A bars, and we'll go back to that score for Korkina as soon as it comes through from the computer. And Poklonskaya really not one of the pre-event favourites, but trying to bring you as much as the action in the early rounds to get the first set of scores in just a few minutes now.
And she's already lost it. She already had a stop, and a stop on the apparatus costs her 5/10. Might just as well jump off, and the form breaks in that full twisting giant before she dropped off. Really cost her dearly. And once you've lost the momentum on asymmetric bars, it's all about swinging and timing, and it becomes much more of a strength piece. But let's hope she can just pick it up. Yeah, not a bad finish there. Double front tuck fly away, but a little bit exasperated with herself.
8-9-3-7, and that can only be described as a disastrous start for the defending world champion, down in 24th position. And Svetlana Korkina finds herself in a clawback situation in the first of 4 pieces of apparatus to be performed upon, and that really will throw this competition in its early stages wide open. Now, unfortunately, we haven't seen the performances of Maria Olaru and, of course, Andrea Raducan, who were first and second in the qualifying round, and Simona Amenar, another Romanian pre-competition favourite, will be the last performer on the beam. But for Svetlana Korkina, that really is an absolute nightmare to begin the defence of her world title. Now, Poklonskaya for Belarus will be getting an equally disappointing score for her asymmetric bars performance. And let's hope that the director takes us back to the beam now, and we can see Simona Amenar for Romania, one of the last performers in rotation 1. Korkina really in trouble early on, Monica.
She was, but what is great to see is the development of the judging situation, because there was no political bias. She had a poor beam, and the reason I almost hesitated in saying, well, we'll see what the judges give, is because in years gone by, regardless of the performance, the name got the mark. And this does not happen. And this is brilliant, you know. It's absolutely superb for the rest of the performers. She had a very poor start, very wobbly, lots of bent arms. It was a laboured performance, lacking in tempo, speed, variation of tempo, lacking in confidence. And this is written in the code of points, that the gymnast must perform at one with the apparatus, showing confidence. Because now it's over to you, Romania, Simona Amenar.
This is her chance to really put the pressure on Korkina. One of the last performances on the beam before we go into rotation 2. Simona Amenar, 4th best qualifier and silver medalist to Korkina in the Worlds 2 years ago.
Now, technically, no better than Korkina. Not as good as Korkina, but she is giving it everything. It's all her teammates encouraging her. Yeah, solid as a rock. Full of self-belief. Very well rehearsed, and Amenar, quiet, hard-working girl, really deserves all the success that she can earn for herself. Misses terribly the companionship of Gina Gosian and Milo, the team, the great Lavinia Milosevic, and Simone Amenar, as captain of the team, feels a tremendous responsibility on her shoulders after their retirement. Certainly would be wonderful for her, yeah. And that was a great routine, psychologically extremely well handled, because the pressure was on her shoulders. It was like a ton of bricks on her shoulders. And I don't know whether Octavian Ballou could almost bear to watch. It's very rare that you see him striding around. He looks the calm man.
It was lovely to see the facial expression going into that exercise. It's as if she said, now this is my chance and I'm going to take it. She'd seen the poor score from Corkina. This is not her strongest apparatus either. Little wobble in between the second pass, but nonetheless, here with the dismount, the back double somersault in tuck position, a little step back, but that is good enough to put Simona Amanor right in the ballpark to turn the tables of the World Championships of 1997. Corkina down in 24th. Let's wait patiently for Amanor's score, because she goes into third position with a 9.687, my mistake, and that is a superb performance. Now Romania looking incredibly strong. Now we haven't seen the performances from the other Romanians, and hopefully we'll get the final scores in a short while from Alaru and Raducan, but it is more than likely that Romania could be holding on to the first three positions here in the early stages of this event. The score to be... So they really will, pressure will start to form.